No. Leave meeting.
You can leave the meeting immediately.
Exactly.
Like, jog on.
It's just like, I don't know who's been Zooming and recording without other people knowing, but apparently that's why they had to do it. And then to top it off, now you have to approve the recording. So it's like even worse. It's like even that tone and those words were like,
those people are doing inappropriate things on Zoom.
Asking for consent. It's mostly like, oh, it's happening because I haven't pressed it yet. I haven't. Like, so it's just like, oh, you're being recorded. Just so you know.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does give you the option to opt out. So
if you don't like this, jog on. It's great. It's like, oh, I was so happy until you decided to record this. Gone.
I can see it. Yeah.
Did you click it now? Can you see our faces again? Come on, Lou. You're no longer a guest here. Okay. So.
That's fired.
Oh, I said Luke. No, you're fine.
Mike just comes back
I was just
with
hiding my face.
And he's like, I was hiding my face because I'm just drinking everything. I'm sorry.
Right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Rolling Across the Pond. As you can see, we are recording, I think, for the first time in a long time, kind of a structural tea break. So, yeah, we're a bit loose today. We're a bit random, but we're having a good time. We have, as you just heard, if I keep that in, we have a guest in here, so he might speak out every so often. You might hear another voice that you don't know. And I'm not going to tell you this guest's name. I'm not going to tell you anything about him, because he might be showing up in a future episode. So, yeah, who knows? Well, I know, but yeah, leave me alone. Okay, let's start this thing. This is Rolling Across the Pond. I'm your GM, Jesse, and I need a cup of coffee. Oh, I would love that. Just transport it to my... For those who are listening, Sam lifted up his coffee mug. And
it's so good. It works on so many mediums except the audio medium when you're just doing stuff in front of a web camera. It works every time. It's so good.
Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't...
Which it does show up in the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I listen and then Jesse will go, oh, and he's just standing there like this.
Yeah, I know. The reason I leave it in, okay, we're off the rails already, guys. But the reason I leave those things in is because Lee then all of a sudden comes after. He's like, for all those listeners out there, this is what he's actually doing.
I feel like it's great because it just adds a hilarious British guy explaining what people might not know when you're listening to an audio medium. Like, it's going to be interesting. Just be really awkward. Just a long pause would be really awkward, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's why I do all the visual stuff so that Lee can explain it.
Yeah, exactly. It's an audio gag. That's what is going on right now.
So who is this Sam bloke? Let's meet him.
Yes. Who is this person that I just suggested go next in the order?
Who is
Sam?
Sam, I am.
So, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm Sam, and I play Leaf, who's the Tabaxi rogue that everyone loves to keep their purses close and let me take them.
You do realize we're doing a tea break.
Yes. But I'm explaining who my character is so that people who are listening to the tea break know that I'm talking about,
I just don't want you to waste your good stuff on a tea break in the episode.
Sam, you don't know, but Sam has a journal next to him filled with so many witty paragraphs. He's ready to go for centuries.
I am so sorry. I apologize. But I'm in charge here, so let's keep it cool, guys. Lee, you want to go next?
Sure, I'm Lee. I play Goro, everyone's lovable turtle warrior monk, bad boy for life. Yeah, tea break. I don't know if he.
I don't think we actually do this for a tea break.
Yeah, we don't really. We just talk. But yeah, so like Goro, we've never done this.
I think I just say, hey everybody, this is Rolling Across the Pond. Welcome to Tea Break. I am your GM Jesse. This is Sam, Lee, Luke, and Davida. But that is not what we're doing today.
We're off the rails.
Apparently not.
We haven't done a tea break in a while, and this is what happens. And so Jess punches the microphone. He's so angry. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I've lost the plot.
Right. Let's just keep going. Let's just finish this. And if I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't.
100%. Let's go.
Okay, Luke, go.
Hi, I'm Luke. I'm the one who recently got a promotion from being guest to full-time thing because here.
You're not supposed to say his name!
Because another individual is here.
Because
Done.
there's another guest here.
Bob. His name's Bob.
All
and he
right,
owns
we're
a-
gonna be bleeping it out.
Yes.
We're gonna be
It's true.
bleeping
It's
it out.
fine. We're just
You want to do it?
We'll bleep it out. It's fine.
fine. His name's Bob. He owns a burger joint. It's really good. It's easy. Done.
Okay. Davina, finish us up.
Hi, I'm Davita, and I grew up in a house that had doors that close automatically when you open them. And if not, I always close the doors behind me.
It's 100% true. 100% true.
I always close doors.
Always close doors.
I want somebody. If somebody is out there listening, if your sister is listening to this podcast, I need her to video you every time you open and close a door.
That sounds like a really bad TikTok idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. This sounds like a really bad idea.
Did you know when I was studying abroad in London, I had an assignment. I was a photography class, and we were supposed to take a series of photos of the same thing. And you know what I took pictures of?
A door.
Doors.
Doors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting doors in London.
I feel like you're
That's
just
fair.
canvassing the area
That's-
for a possible
I have
job.
50. I have
My kind of
50
job,
plus
right?
pictures of doors in London.
So,
Wow. Well
just
done.
canvassing in the area, looking
Cool.
for a job with Leaf. That's exactly what I was doing.
Right.
I'm a door person.
Okay. Let us
Especially when they-
compose ourselves, everyone.
Hey, we're excited. This is a good. we're all
This
living the dream.
is a recap. This is a tea break for the past 2 episodes. And I say the past 2 because episode 6 was it was a lead up to episode 7 and what's going to happen in episode 8. And so I thought it would be good to bring them together and for us to talk about them together. And yeah, so that's kind of what's happened. And I think from that as well, it's because Luke is included in all of those things. That is why I also wanted to bring that together. So yeah, do we want to do? I guess you guys just listened to the episode. I don't need to do a recap. And if you didn't listen to it, Sam.
Shame.
I have a life.
Wow. Shots fired.
I've listened to the episodes
Jesse,
like
that-
17 times.
This guy.
No,
This
I've just had
guy.
a really busy
Well,
few
that
weeks.
is your life too, Jesse. Just,
That's
I'm kidding.
Guy.
um,
This guy.
yes. So Sam has no idea what's happened, so we can say anything about his character.
I
But
remember.
We've saved a few people and murdered a few people. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Sorry,
Yeah.
we've liberated them. That's what we should say.
animals.
We liberated
Protects.
animals from their lives.
Now, my first,
RSPCA.
I guess
Yeah,
my
GTA.
my first, I don't know, question, remark is, why did you leave the door open, Davida?
Jesus. Straight for the jugular right away. I love it.
Yeah, right. I close doors when I go in, especially in houses. I close my doors. I grew up in a house that had a door that closed automatically, so I don't think about closing the door because it already does it on its own.
Well, that's some people's opinion, sure. Maybe somebody just went behind you and closed it. You'd never know in your entire life. You just thought it closed by itself, but I don't know, your dad or your mom or your sister or your brother would come in behind you and just be like, it happens. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, that's a semantic, but it did create a storyline of hilarity, so I appreciated it.
Yep.
No, she's just joined us. That's basically what it is. Davita has now joined Sam and me in bullying Jesse. It's great because
I'm all
D&D is
for
one
it.
of the coolest things where your GM can either take you like literally and you'll have a terrible experience, or you'd be like Jess and no, we're all jesting in a way, but we are teasing at the same time and it's a bit of banter.
Hating sometimes.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah,
they-
hate. See, that's true. What's that song? Hate is a strong word, but I really, really, really don't like you. That's probably the best way of describing it. Because I think
and I
hate
love it. I love it.
probably a little bit of a strong word, but it's also fun though. If you are
Yeah,
hated-
exactly. It's a little bit
If
of
you are
fun.
being hated, you're kind of doing your job, which is a
Exactly.
good thing because that means your participants in D&D are getting really into the role playing and going, you're a douche, and you're doing a good job if they're interacting in
Exactly.
that kind of way.
Exactly.
But
And I
just
wa-
remember, we all close doors. We just close doors
Oh,
automatically now.
no, from now on, that has to be stated.
Oh gosh, it's a statement. Okay. I enter a room and I close the door behind me.
So
No,
to
I think we
backtrack
just
a
need
little
to
bit.
get
Oh, go
into
ahead.
the habit of saying I close the door. So
I close the door.
what we all
yeah.
need to do now in our lives, just so we get into the habit of it, just verbally
Close doors.
state when we close the door. So
I just
so if
thought it
you're
was
listening to
natural.
this,
Like whenever you go to the
whenever you
bathroom, you
close the
don't leave
door,
the
just
door
say,
open.
I
I
close
close
the
the
door.
Yeah, everyone closes doors. Saying.
It'll become a habit, and then when you start playing D&D, you'll be like, and I close the door.
Hey,
I
what
imagine-
happened? What happened in Game of Thrones? I'm sorry, Luke. So go ahead.
I just imagine a scenario of like sneaking in at 2 a.m. Like open the door, you get in. So, I'm closing the door.
Closing the door, guys.
You act like I leave my house. Right. So no, to backtrack a little bit, you guys, what kind of went through your heads immediately as you entered this village that was practically lost?
I was thinking like terrifying fires, but I think your mind was like small fires that are still like burning out, and I'm just like, this is scary, and I gotta save as many people as possible. I mean, maybe it was like crazy fires or whatever, but I was just like, oh my goodness, there's people in these things. We gotta help them, save the villagers. And so that's why I didn't even think. I just like rush in and do it before even like consulting with the rest of my team and figuring out what a plan is. We just need to go save people. So that was my initial thought running into the town. Just like, save them, save the villagers.
Sure. Definitely. Yeah, that's valid. That's definitely valid.
I was thinking, oh look, pretty fire. I need to save people's gold. I mean, you don't want the gold to melt.
Savage.
Fair enough.
Gold has feelings too.
And you, Lee?
Yeah, I was kind of on the same lines as Davita. Like, I didn't really ask the question. It was like, so fires, is it kind of like, there's small fires, or it's like, how's it going? This whole village is on fire. You're running into burning buildings and having like a fight like in Mortal Kombat while fire is around you and stuff. I just immediately thought it would be that. But also the worst thing was maybe whatever was in the town we just escaped from might be happening in pretty much all over the world. And this might be just a little baby portal of what, or, hole or whatever mass was in the ground that stuff came up out. And I was just praying it wasn't anything like that. Cause we put in a lot of people's, lives in jeopardy, but they went out, they went out gambling. So that was cool. Like I taught the whole lot of village how to play blackjack. So, I'm pretty all right.
Yeah, sure. And Luke, I guess from the very beginning, how did it feel like to join the podcast of a crew that's already been established and kind of?
Yeah, if you keep it in my little intro, that was a tad bit sincere, because I'm still like, is Reader more of like a glorified NPC still, or is he still like a guest? Which is
interesting.
But
interesting. Yeah. No, I mean we're definitely keeping it in. We'll just bleep out the name. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, at the time you were definitely a guest of the show. We weren't sure you were going to continue. Yeah.
And without any spoilers, it's kind of evolved, hasn't it, Luke? Without spoiling too much, is that right to say, Jess?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's evolved, mate. Out of all of us, I think you're.
Yeah. So I just hope that people do like Reader.
I love Reader. He's super awkward.
Super awkward.
Honestly, I was just like cracking up the whole time because I just like when he's doing his inner dialogue, I'm just like, this is familiar circumstances in my life where I'm just like, and then just like, it's honestly relatable.
So true. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
It's cool to have that kind of character, have it be a relatable character. So I think people were really like Reader.
Definitely. Yeah. And then you guys go off and do your own thing, and I don't know if this is a question for like as a crowd or like as a DM or a GM, but Davina, is it beneficial for you to cut somebody limb from limb, or is it something we can just say you hit them and then carry on, or do you like the severe like lacerations
the dismemberment?
Yes.
You know what, I'm trying to think where I got that from. I feel like it was initially when Jesse was it was probably in our prologue when Jesse tried to cut off Leaf's hand, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so when I mean, it's still early on, honestly, in our in my D&D experience thing, because it was my first time like controlling Hava in a rage and stuff like this. So I'm like trying to figure out how she acts while she's raging, but like I'm taking my influence from other players and like podcasts or whatever, and like I feel like when they say they attack, they usually say I don't just attack, I attack and then, or at least what Jesse does, I attack and then the arm, the hand, the whatever. Like, where are you striking? And so I'm like, okay, when I'm describing my attack, I guess I'll describe where I am attacking. So I'm just thinking, but then I thought with the wing, I'm like, okay, if I can make this thing not fly, then that would be the best thing. But like situationally, I'm just trying to visualize what's actually happening. And so if I'm going up a stair and there's a barrel up there, and like if I'm slashing, what's the first thing I would hit? And that would be his foot. So I think it's just like situational dismemberment instead of just like, deviously plot out ahead of time. Like
how can I dice this thing up in a glorious way?
I think that's part of Hava's murder.
Same thing with the squirrel. I was just thinking, okay, the squirrel uses hands to like control, I don't know, magic or something like that. So if I go for the hands, like I don't know, like in my mind, like that's what's gonna prevent her from doing more magic or whatever.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just because it isn't a necessity, a normality for somebody to go into that much detail every hit. So it has been a bit fun for me in a way to kind of be like, okay, yeah, I guess that would cut it off. I guess that would stop it.
I guess because Hava's so lovable as well, and like so thoughtful. When she goes into rage, she's like the complete opposite, like a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing, and just goes like, I just want to live out a fantasy by decapitating people. First the arms, then the legs, then the head. Oh, what's this? A tongue? Okay. And just does whatever. Exactly. Like the curiosity of her being so innocent to go, the curiosity of a complete psychopath. It's quite interesting to play.
Yeah, it's
insane. I love it as well because it makes me not look evil at all. So I'm great. I just want to fight people. You want to decapitate them in the most graphic way possible. It's great.
Yeah, it's true. And and then in that, how did it feel like in a I don't know, however you want to say, like don't feel like you defend me or anything, but like how did it feel for me to take away your sword?
Oh, I was like, man, he really wants to take this away, and like I kept on being like, why is he trying to like take away this? I was like, okay, I mean, for a good story or whatever, but I was just like, man, he's really out for my sword at this point. I really got to be more protective of this. I don't have like a special spell to keep my sword reappearing at my side, so.
Yeah.
I think I'm to blame because I think I'm pretty positive. I said it'd be sick if you threw it and killed it while it was escaping. I think that would look cool.
Yeah, I could definitely say
it was my fault.
I never did.
But to be honest, that's something I would have done anyway because it would have been way cooler. Because then you could have like
blame Lee then.
That. It's true, and then you could have had that cool hero moment where you just casually walk up to the killer teddy bear or whatever, pull your sword out, turn behind, and like your family's safe. Then you bugger off. Like it would be super cool. And I was like, that'd be a really cool moment. But now you missed.
Dear family.
Yeah, they probably saw worse of things.
Should have paid you.
Oh, it's true.
I saved them. They should be grateful.
Sure.
To be honest,
that's how you want to put it. That is a line from probably every superhero ever. Like, I saved them. They should be grateful.
It's true. That's the Justice League being a big brother when they go into the Justice League after think, oh, did you stop that Robert? Yeah, but he had a dodgy haircut. I had to punch him. But it's also funny because we saved them. But remember what's down the road, guys, where we're running away from in a way. Like that, we might have just saved them, but then they're just going to be cannon fodder for something else. So.
Yeah. So in that, I'm just trying to go through everybody's kind of scenario. And now, Sam, I know you didn't listen to it recently, but I'm sure it'll come back to you as I'm talking about it. When you're a stealthy guy, so you obviously went to go get the information and kind of recon because we talked about this where the hostages could be. You knew that because you knew this crew. And for listeners out there, he didn't know this was going to happen. And him and I didn't talk about the crew. we had an idea. We talked to briefly, generalize of the crew, of the thieves crew that he was a part of before. And so Sam was coming up with things and riffing off and being relatable to these guys on his own. He was doing great improv through that. So I applaud you for going and just jumping in and being like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
I was wondering if you guys had discussed that ahead of time, because he seemed to be like, oh yeah, but it was good role playing, because if you guys hadn't discussed it before, just like, pretend like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about and all that kind of.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah. So when you went and I guess didn't have a combat, but you had your recon, and I guess your first initial thought was, oh, I need to get information to the hostages, and then it backfired on you, and they shouted at you and said, "Hey, we're saved!" What was going through your head?
Yeah, stupid hostages. Stupid hostages.
Idiot.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you're in a hostage situation, you see somebody peering at you through the window, so your first initial response is, ooh, let's make lots of noise and draw attention to them.
Yeah.
Not like every movie we've ever seen when there's a hostage situation, they try and get people's attention. They do it on the sly instead of going, "Hi, how you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But also, actually, it was just Jesse trying to get you killed early on.
No,
100% straight up.
I played that character to the T.
Of course.
I knew.
Yeah.
Okay, unlike Sam, I had conversations with Luke about his town, and I talked about specific people, and now I will reveal who these people or these animals are later. Probably in next episode, next tea break. But Luke and I did sit down and be like, okay, so this person. I don't know if oh no, it's not in this episode, but there is a person that Luke throws in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, there is this person that lives, okay. But Luke and I did have an unfolding of what was happening, what was going on, and his place in his little town.
So you were playing that character for how you guys had already developed it, not just like, oh, I'm DM, I can make this screen, just like, okay. That's what I literally thought. I was like, he's just trying to mess with Sam.
No, I played that character the way it's supposed to be played. I'm not one to. I don't want to railroad, so I leave a lot of things to dice rolls, to pre-made stuff. I don't want to push you guys to do things, and I don't want things to happen that wouldn't happen just for sake of story, except for the door. But
maybe you should roll a dice for the door in future.
We did roll the dice, if you don't remember, and she didn't roll high enough to be like, yeah, I closed it. It was interesting to be that mean. And
good. I have more respect for you now. Just I literally thought you were just like trying to get Sam killed right there. Really killed.
Well, I appreciate that.
It did change my whole plan. Like my whole hope was to be able to get the hostages out without anyone ever knowing, and then problem solved. We get paid. Town burns to a crisp. And so yeah.
I have to say, you picked the wrong hostage.
Well, yeah, but I don't know this town, so
yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, as a hindsight, you picked the wrong hostage.
Sure, next time I know, I take some knockout darts, shoot the hostages first.
Yeah, sounds good.
Or just shoot the hostages.
Yeah,
you get that from speed, right? You just shoot the hostage.
No, never shoot the hostages. To transition to that, I did say that Luke and I talked about the village and some characters. How did it feel to have ownership of that, Luke? You're brand new, you're a guest, and I threw a lot of information at you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up I think it was the secretary.
Well, that's in episode 8. But yes, I did bring up the secretary.
Spoiler. I mean, it's there.
Play the awkward well. Is that right?
It's a real
Relatable,
stretch
like I
to
said.
play readers' awkwardness.
I imagine. I can totally imagine that.
Yeah. So how did it feel to have that kind of information, to have that kind of layout of the land and especially with the reader's placement in the town? You know, how did it feel? How was it? Was as you were a guest for your first time as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I will say behind the scenes, it was like this is a lot. So hopefully I get it right. Like you can even, I guess it was in this episode. You can hear me saying like, yeah, I do know things, right? But
Yes.
I was like, yeah, and I
do.
definitely know the tavern's over there, and I played it off with a joke, like, oh yeah, I've never had friends, but
Yes.
yeah, I did tend to do that a couple times, and I won't say what the other one is either, because I don't know why I want to talk about 8 so much. But there is another where I just had an offhand joke, and it turned into a whole thing.
Yes.
Tangent.
It's very good.
Because it's
It's very
affecting
good.
2 podcasts or 2.
And we'll talk about it next episode. It's fine. It's all good. And yeah, listeners, you know, we're all just having fun. Like that's the bottom line. Is like this game. There are times where it's like, all right, it's 2:00 in the morning. I just want to finish this. But at the same time, it's a great. We make it to 2:00 in the morning because it's fun, because we're having a great time together, and in that, if that includes a tangent or somebody saying something and I'm like, yep, now that's possible, or now that's happening, then it's just because as a GM, as a person who just wants to, you know, just having a good time with my friends, I'm not gonna put an idea down that's so out of the way that doesn't contribute to the story, because that's the point of this, it's their story. It's the adventurer's story, and I'm just orchestrating it. Yeah.
And from where I am, I'm just I'm trying to figure out if I want to say this. Sam also DMs a campaign for me, and there were just so many NPCs that he gave them out, like 1 to each of the players to play. And I'm so nervous about it because like he created this, he thought this character out, and then I'm gonna be the one to kill it because I play it wrong. Or I'm so nervous. I didn't even like actually roll my first time. I just had like a list of pre-rolls that I've done. Oh, yeah, I rolled 19. So I was so nervous I was gonna like drop the dice or something. And it was just gonna ruin like everything. And then I get thrown a bunch of information, and I'm like, I'm just totally gonna mess this up. But I know you're such a nice person that you'll just roll with it. You'll like change it in the moment because I messed it up.
Yeah. You didn't mess it up. You changed it. That's the difference. I would say you didn't mess anything up. No one's, I mean, we've gone on random things because of everybody said something or another. And it just made it more fun. It's better. So don't be afraid of it. Don't feel like you've messed something up. It's not true.
I'll just have to remember that in the future so I can be like, oh, look, right there. It's the big bad evil guy's lair. Oh, man. And he's dead? Oh, great.
And then he's the only one that actually knows a reincarnation spell, and
oh wow, it failed. Wow.
Yeah, not that much freedom. Yeah. So Lee, you were in the episode. You were very much like, okay, I just want to get to this pub and bash some heads in, and that's what you inevitably did. You were just like, I've never seen something like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and executed so well.
Well, I think the thing was, it's quite funny when we realized Leaf was like, this is the crew that he used to run with, and obviously our backstories, I know a few of them, so I know what they were possibly able to do. And then obviously with the whole situation of like, they're setting this village on fire, which is pretty sketchy. We're hearing people scream. Like, I'm pretty positive. Like, the first things out of my mind, I'm just like, these guys are not nice people. They might have a backstory where like, I steal because I have to feed my family and all this other rubbish. But you know, you don't do that to other people. You don't set their houses on fire and, you know, try and kill people. So Goro just basically did justice with his two fists, as he always wants to do. in the most graphic way possible, as my DMs allowed me to.
And
'Cause how I wanted to kill him was super cool, but my punch did kill him. I tried to knock
Yeah.
him out because what I wanted to do was proper, like, brutal, because we realize now, ladies and gentlemen, there's glass in this universe. And my whole idea was I wanted to put this guy's head through a glass door and then just basically come down on, like, the jarring of the glass door. So he's just basically head, blood everywhere, and he's just like, cool, I'll leave him there. So then we'll have to use him as a constant door stopper, which will be fun.
So, listeners, I had a conversation with the crew earlier today, before we start recording, and I decided finally there's glass. There's a moment, I don't know if it's on air or not, but Davida basically schooled me and was like, "You're wrong. There's glass here." In the most polite and most educational way.
Whoa. You can't say polite. She got very, very irate. We had to censor it. There was stuff thrown at the
She did
webcam.
not.
It was
She did
insane. It was unbelievable. She literally I'm kidding.
But she,
Slander.
but she was very convincing, and so now I've decided there is glass in some of this kingdom.
Yeah. So just get that right, viewers. If you have a window and you can't afford glass, burglars are always allowed in your house, or just don't have windows.
Yeah, or high up windows, you know.
Yeah, high windows. You know, that's it. Leaf is now like the security guard for a lot of rich people's houses.
So yeah, that fight, that entrance, that fight, having the wheels turn in not only your brain, Lee, but also Luke, yours. I want to set this guy on fire. I want to do it. Like, and I was just like, guys, it's not that bad of a fire in my head. I'm just like, yeah, things are on fire, but there's not like melting. Like the walls aren't crumbling.
But that's what
of the
I
fire.
thought. I thought we were running into a burning inn to see if anyone was alive, but then these douchebags were chilling in there, and I was like, okay, so it might not be a bad enough fire. But also the fact is, if we set them alight with flammable liquid, that's like liquid napalm. They're not going to live that long. And clearly, spoilers, they didn't.
I think it's in this episode.
I was just so annoyed that the monkeys did nothing. I wanted to basically grab a monkey by the tail and use it as a baseball bat to kill other monkeys, but they buggered off.
There was
like 3.
There was 5
There's
monkeys
5?
in total.
Jumping on the bed?
No.
One fell off? The monkey's head?
Okay, we are feisty tonight. I don't know what's gonna happen.
There was 3.
I thought there was 2.
So there was 2 in the tavern, and then there's 3 that's gonna be later.
That's right. I forgot.
Okay, we're getting middled up.
Did get away.
And they're not monkeys, they're chimps.
All right, sorry. I wanted to use one as a baseball bat. I'm sorry. I wanted to use it as a mace, like old school, like macing.
Those monkeys.
I'm pretty sure you said monkey though.
Yeah, the chimps.
Yeah.
We went through this whole conversation. Everybody just wait until episode 8. We don't need to talk about it here.
Okay, cool. I forgot about that.
All I really wanted to do was, well, the worst thing was Jess's characters were all very heavily armored. So my idea is Goro is 7 foot whatever. These chimps are nothing.
Yeah.
Use it as a mace and basically see a watermelon just implode onto a guy's chest and be like, oh yeah, there's another minion dead. Probably didn't do any damage to him, but that guy's now dead because they're chimps.
Yeah. And then listening back, and I don't think I deleted it. I think I left it in there. That I said there was 6 people or 6 animals in there, and then I went down to 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then,
the fire
and then
took
I think
them.
it went down to 4.
The fire took them. I'm telling you right now. We walked into a burning inn.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to ask. Was you started off saying there was 5, and so like, okay, keep it a mental note. The raccoon, okay, got that one. And then you said the polar bear. All right, the 2 monkeys, okay. And I kept waiting for that 5th one because I'm like, he's gonna jump out. He's gonna be
like a frog ninja.
Or something. He's gonna be like, I was behind the door at the time. You shouldn't have closed it. Like,
yeah, and I think at the end of the fight, I do say, and there was another guy in here, but they're gone too.
Yes, they perished in the fire.
I think that's what I said. And I agree with that. So there's probably another who's an assassin or a thief that's running out there, and you will never know who or what it is and when they'll come back.
Yeah.
He was probably drunk and just like
Yes.
he wasn't. he was he was so drunk that he like passed out or something. And
Exactly.
That's a burning building, so just straight up dead.
Yeah.
And there was another part of me that was like, oh, it's a hostage.
Oh, that would have been such a good thing to say. It's fine. That's just a little glimpse behind the scenes, everyone.
But that's also fun though, because that's also you as a DM learning on the fly as well, that you're forgetting these things, which kind of helps us, but also kind of helps you in the long run to go, oh yeah, I said 5. I've got to remember 5 instead of like 4.
Yeah.
But that's also a good thing to remember for all those people out there who are DMing and all that jazz.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Remember, write down all your characters.
Because it is quite funny, because it's like, I loved episode 6 because it was like a real behind the curtain of how we level up as well. Which we just went straight to the meat of like the episode, which is great. But I like the whole idea of us talking over what can work and what our characters could benefit from was really cool, because I feel like sometimes in D&D people struggle, and I can put my hand up here, like leveling up, like what to do, how do I want to play it?
That's true.
And it was a cool insight. But yeah, murder was way more fun.
Yeah, the reason I didn't want to jump into the leveling up is because in the episode, I no, not just that. I just say it like at level 4, he is such a boring level up. But at the same time, it's not at the same time, because you can become like almighty at like strength or dexterity or blank. But I figured with the majority of you, nothing like that would have happened. But I do agree that leveling up is very important, and it does create, especially if you're in if you're a wizard or a magic user, you get a load of stuff every level. So, yeah, I don't take back what I said, but... And
this is a shot at Jess right now, and he might cut this out, we might not even keep it in. We're still at level 4, guys, and we're multiple episodes. When are we at level 5?
You're level 5.
When? Oh, yes, I remember. Yeah. I take that back. Edit it out. We're all good.
No, I'm leaving it in.
Edit.
Oh, I remember.
Winner.
I remember we leveled up because of that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I need to get a new character sheet. Then I'm doing that right now.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely need to level up, man.
I need to level up because I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, spoilers. Shh. I don't want to die.
Oh shoot!
Yet.
I did not update my.
There we go. So we're going to do that before we record our next thing. It's going to be glorious.
No, like my character sheet says level 3.
Oh no!
on my thing. So no, I did the other stats, but I forgot to change it on the top.
Oh, cool.
I'm not using the app, guys. I'm using paper and pencil and
Yeah. So after all that, you guys have gathered back together after that bloodbath of fight with. That Hava had, and Goro and Reader and PJ and Leaf kind of running for his life to just end up back. In your opinion, Sam, did you waste that smoke bomb, or do you think it was very effective?
We didn't see the culmination of it, right? Because the culmination of the smoke bomb happens in episode 8.
Yeah. What happens after? But like, I was asking, does he feel like it? Like, does it act? Because it was
kind of. Yeah, I think so. Like, I think Leaf is like a bit disappointed that it didn't pan out to more. Like, yeah, especially since I don't have a lot of them, so I don't want to just waste them. So in some ways, it was like there might have been a better time for it, but he's still trying to figure out when to use them. The one in the back of the carriage was far more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, with that, does anybody have any, like favorite moments, least favorite moments of these past 2 episodes? Meeting Reader, was that was that exciting? Was that nice? Was that a good encounter for you? Kind of final thoughts about it all?
I was gonna comment on the fact that it got cut out from this recording, probably because it was just too much banter. But there was a point where Leaf really wanted to go back and steal the items that the bear owl had collected from the house of the deers, and yes, and so he kept on wanting to go, and I'm just like, no, you don't understand. We're not stealing from these people. We're saving them. But he wanted to go back into the house and grab the bag that was already pre-collected from this bear owl from the deer people.
Yes, that's very funny.
Greedy little hands.
And you can hear that in if you are a Patreon supporter, you can hear that part of the episode.
Yes.
So subscribe. You get to hear more about Lee.
Yeah, unedited.
Yeah. You get to hear a lot more random shenanigans of us. It's great.
Yes. Sam, you were saying something?
Yeah, I really like Leaf just stealing readers' gold.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. That's so weird. Yeah, and then giving it back.
Yeah.
He dropped it in my hand.
Well.
Yeah.
Leaf is so awkward. Probably more awkward than Raider sometimes.
Well, I had to wrestle with that whole thought. It's like, would Leaf have given that gold back? And at the end, I was like, well, actually, probably just for the party's sake, because I'm starting to trust these guys a little bit more, and realizing that actually, if these guys are going to trust Reader, I probably shouldn't do anything that's going to jeopardize that. And actually, if I give him his gold back without him, I took it. Well, maybe that's going to ingratiate him to the party even more, and it's going to work out. So,
or he'll just be suspicious of you for the rest of the time.
Hey, Leaf's not evil. I mean, there's no way he would ever accuse Leaf of being evil.
Luke, you were going to say something? I saw.
Yeah, that's half of what I was going to say. Actually, the gold thing is I do like the awkwardness in the character building with each character. So the two examples I was going to use was the gold, which was gold, comedy gold, and the apple branch.
Oh yes, with PJ. Yes, that was very good.
Apples and pears.
Yes, apples and pears. That was very good.
One time I want these guys to not be douchebags. Yeah.
That Goro has so much seriousness to him that even Lee right now is getting annoyed.
It's so funny though, because it's so true. You're just like, hey, let's fight. Let's go do this. So fruit. I'm just like, oh my God, screw this. This is the funniest thing about it is Leaf is at a crossroads. Not Leaf, sorry. PJ is at a crossroads. He doesn't know what he's doing. He literally has post-traumatic, whatever of killing things. So he doesn't know what he's doing. So instead of going on his rant of I need to save people now, I'm here to help people. No, I'm going to stop and talk about fruit is the complete opposite of what his character is. So I literally was like, screw this. This guy's dead to me. Literally. He's completely I don't know what it is about PJ from now on. Just basically, oh yeah, I wanted to be an adventurer. Yeah, you were really blindsided by not realizing what adventuring's all about, mate.
You were blindsided by changing main character
in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, straight up hobbits in Lord of the Rings. They did not know what they're getting against.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's
what he feels like. So I can keep mocking him because he's an otter, and I can end his life whenever I want. It's great.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith. We want you back.
We do.
Jesse's ruined the character. Jess is ruining it, not me. Jess is.
Yeah. So that's us. That's Rolling Across the Pond. This has been Tea Break for episodes 6 and 7. You want to take us out?
Oh yes, I would love to. Thanks for listening to us be weird and just bantering about the episode. Hope you enjoy these times. We definitely do because we get to just joke about what happened and some things that were just spontaneous and we didn't realize we're going to have repercussions in the future. So, it was a fun time, fun talking about it. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you want to help us out or look a little bit closer, because you could check out our website, rollingacrossthepond.com. We can get our podcast wherever you can listen to podcasts, and you can check out our Instagram at Rolling Across the Pond and make fan art and yes. Oh, and if you have any questions about things to talk about that we want to talk about in the tea time, send us a message on on our website. We would love to see what your thoughts are and listen and answer any questions you may have about us and our characters, and share with friends, please. We want to have more people enjoy this like we do. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
See y'all.